Good morning, everybody. Tuesday, May 9th here in Bohol. Testing out StreamYards for the first time, so bear with me if there's any technical difficulties. Am I live here, guys? Am I live here, guys? Am I live here, guys? Okay, so it looks like we are live. I will somehow put a comment in the chat here. Hey, Mario, what's going on, brother? Yeah, we're going to have some comments about Frank for sure. All right, looks like we have the link in the chat. I'll bring this, we'll go upstairs. Anybody wants to come on, check it out. This is the dirty kitchen at our hotel we're staying at right now. Basic dirty kitchen. We grilled some fish up here last night. Building a little laundry room back there. Nice friendly dog here too. So this isn't going to be a really long live stream today because I'm going to try to live stream the Laker game. And I'm not live stream, I'm streaming the Laker game. I'm going to try to watch that a little later. But this is what I do in the mornings, guys. I'm here. It's a tough life. Someone's got to do it, though. here in Bohol, hanging out. All right, Don C. I'll see you later, man. I know you've been pretty active this morning on most of these live streams. Yeah, I thought Frank quit YouTube yesterday, but I think he's made 8 live streams since. I guess I was wrong. I'm just going to hang out here for a few minutes. This won't be a super long live stream. I am going to watch the Laker game in a few hours, about an hour, 45 minutes or an hour. I finally found a way to stream it. I got the code for my sister's DirecTV, and they've got like a Watch Anywhere app, so I had to download a VPN, then download the DirecTV app, and I can watch NBA playoffs now. One more technical problem solved in my life. Oh yeah, Frank's been talking about me for a while. He turns on people on a dime. He doesn't have a lot of friends, and I actually went over there, you know, with the best of intentions, and he turned on me. He tried to dox me. He started threatening lawsuits against me. But that's par for the course for a guy like that. He ain't gonna really do nothing. Got a little drink, some fruit salad. Fresh mango bought yesterday. Yeah, I got the link in the chat there if anybody wants to come on. Open forum discussion. Anybody, anything you guys want to talk about, I'm open. Yeah, I know Ricky's doing a lot of legwork helping Bama out, and I do appreciate that. And I know a lot of guys in the community really appreciate that. So from the bottom of my heart, Ricky, thank you very much. Beer's on me when I get back to Cebu. And I'll message you, Ricky. I know you were talking about doing a monthly rental. Got a pretty solid place for you. I think you'd like it a lot. If you know, it might not be up to your standards. I know you're living a 5-star lifestyle, got a, you know, significant budget. So if not, you know, there's lots of places in Cebu in that 30 to 50,000 a month range. I mean, literally thousands of them. Hi, Dr. Frankenstein. Yeah, pretty hot here in Bohol. I'm staying in the shade right now. Yeah, Ricky and I have actually met both Bama and Frank. And it's funny, we both like Bama, and neither of us like Frank, and we both of us have been to Frank's house. We've had dinner, dinner with him. I think Ricky's had breakfast with him as well. And yeah, Frank's not an easy guy to make friends with. He's got a chip on his shoulder. Not sure what happened to him. It's probably something bad happened to him in his life. So I give him the benefit of the doubt, and people think I hate Frank. That's not true. First of all, I don't hate anybody. Certainly not Frank. Just not worth my time. I don't have the bandwidth to deal with hatred. I mean, if I'm sitting out here hating somebody, that's an issue with me. And I mean, and Frank lives on a nice island, nice tropical island, Bantayan, nice and quiet. Renting a house, for his live-in partner. So he's doing well for himself. He's on a modest budget. He doesn't have a lot of money, so he's got to make it last. Um, but yeah, he's got to figure his life out. He's definitely not happy, and if you're not happy, change it. And it's up to you to change it. Went for a little night swim out there last night. Pretty cool. Might have got tagged by a sea urchin. The tip of my toe got a little black mark on it, and it was stinging. So my girl took one of her pins and kind of cut the wound open and scraped it out, and seemed to be okay now. Yeah, I mean, our days basically consist of, waking up and cooking breakfast and hanging out on the beach, taking a nap, maybe going for a happy hour somewhere. Probably, what are we doing? Chicken curry tonight? Yeah, she makes a killer chicken curry with fresh coconut milk, curry powder. We got two chicken leg quarters, thigh and leg, and we do bell pepper, potato, carrot, okra, onions, garlic, ginger. Unfortunately, she does put a little magic syrup in there. Yeah, Subong, you were right. Frank and I, we were doing fine, and then I went and visited Barry, and like as soon as I was clanging glasses with Barry, he just went ballistic, and next thing you know, he's, threatening my girlfriend, and I'll just say she didn't appreciate that, and some of her family members didn't appreciate that either, Frank. So, be forewarned. And I when I met Barry, he came right out. He's like, "Yeah, I know who you are. How you doing? Come on in." Welcome me in. He's, "Hey man, I'm cooking chicken later tonight, grilling it up. Like, you want some?" And yeah, he cooked for me. I went down to the store, bought a bottle of Jim Beam. He supplied the dinner, Coca-Cola, ice cubes, everything, and it was a nice little party. And then went back the next day. I think we went out to dinner somewhere in Moal Boal. And no, Barry wasn't freeloading off me. Barry pays, his own way. Wasn't a total 50-50 split. It was probably more a 70-30 split. But it's one of those things. The bill comes to 1,500. I pop 1,000 down on the table. Barry puts 500, tipped 100 pesos. So, I mean, I'm not counting pesos like Frank does, but yeah, Barry was not freeloading off me at all. We were just hanging out, drinking, and I wasn't buying him cigarettes or anything like that. Thanks, Hawk. Not a dad yet, but got a couple in the oven. Doubled my chances here. So we'll see. Really looking forward to it. Philippines is a great place to raise kids. Family structure is pretty intact. Childcare very cheap. And so I'm looking forward to it. They don't really bend you over on child support payments like they do in America. To bankrupt a man. But I'm financially solvent enough where it shouldn't be an issue. So we've got a private doctor. We got her signed up for PhilHealth. Only thing I'm a little concerned about is I'm pretty big. She's pretty small. She's like 4'11". And she was like 33 kilos when I met her. She's up to 39 now. And no, not twins. Two ovens. Not two in one oven. One in two different ovens. But yeah, so she's, if the baby comes out too big and we're looking, staring a C-section in the face. So I'm trying to do everything I can to avoid that, not letting her eat as much sugar and rice as she wants, which is pretty tough because she's a Filipina. She loves rice. So going to really kind of restrict her diet going forward. I'll try to avoid the C-section, but if it's necessary, it's necessary. I'm not going to let the baby be born without, that first few seconds of crucial oxygen. So signed up for PhilHealth. It was 4,800 pesos. We paid 12 months in advance. they give some sort of C-section credit. I think it's 19,000 pesos. So if a C-section's, 40, 50,000 pesos, it's basically like, they knock 19,000 off the price. And I think there's something like 7,000 for hospital and doctor's fees. So we went to one private doctor. We were recommended by a dentist that we visited, and I said, "Hey, do you know any doctors?" And she gave one of her friends' numbers. Really sweet lady, head of OBGYN birthing department at a private hospital in Cebu. So we're going to be checking that out, and I've heard numbers anywhere from, free, of course. You can get it done at the Barangay Birthing Center for free. But the standard package rate, which includes a few prenatal visits and postnatal visits, the hospital stay, the actual birth and delivery itself, and medicines and shots, anywhere from like 10 to 60,000 pesos. I think Chonghua goes up to about 150,000. And then you could add in a little bit extra if there's comp. Hey guys, just lost connection here. I am kind of far from the Wi-Fi router, so if it happens, I do apologize. Joel says he's going to rent a condo in Katarman, Panglao Island. I'm not sure where Katarman is. I've spent quite a bit of time in Panglao Island. Contrary to what a hotel builder says there, I have not experienced any brownouts, and it does not rain every day. They've had above average rain, and I've traveled the island. I have not experienced a single brownout, but I'm in Bohol right now, just at a little private beach right here, little 6-room hotel. It's got a couple thousand a night. If you go kind of like up and down the coast a little bit, like every 100 meters, there's like a little private beach about this size here. There's a public beach down there too. It's pretty crowded, like half a kilometer down. I don't know if you guys could see, but there's a boat out there posted, and there's some buoys. There's actually a reef. Not the world's best reef, but it is a reef. It does have some coral and sea life. Saw an octopus. Apparently jet skis are banned here, and it has something to do with the baby turtles getting sucked up in the engines. Haven't seen a turtle around here. When I did the island hopping at Balakasag off the coast of Alona, saw a bunch of turtles. Pretty cool. Yeah, but I mean, get here and do your research in person for the condos. Like, get a hotel for a week first. See if you like the area. While you're here, just get a scooter. I recommend buying one if you're going to be here. You can buy a scooter for 60, 70, 80,000 pesos, and then just drive it for however long you're here. And then when you leave, give it to your girlfriend's dad or brother, and just gift it to them. And then they'll appreciate that. But yeah, go drive around, find the area you want. maybe find a real estate agent or two. That's what I did in Cebu. They picked us up in their car, drove us around. Just kind of specify what you want, like furnished, unfurnished, 1 story, 2 story. And one of the real estate agents was better than the other. The first one, we said, hey, we're looking for places 30 to 50,000 a month. We'd like to have a dog. We'd like it, furnished or at least semi-furnished. And she's like, oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And starts taking us to places that are 65, 75,000 a month. I can't really blame her. I wanted a place that was kind of like a larger room, because they usually throw the kitchen in there too. So you've got this little micro kitchen with a mini fridge and a rice cooker and a single plate, hot plate, barely any counter space to do any cutting or anything. And bathrooms or whatever. Beds may or may not be comfortable, may or may not have a bowel. Sorry if I keep losing connection. But yeah, I wanted to be like not on the ground floor. I wanted to be, 5, 10, 15 floors up and have, full-time armed security downstairs, covered secure parking, 24-hour front desk. So I didn't want to get like a 4-unit place where the owner's cousin lives around the corner from it and call her if there's an issue. Like, I wanted armed security. I wanted, key card entry to the elevator and doors, so people from the 7th floor can't just be roaming the 10th floor, can't get in the lobby, security will know you. I didn't want too big of a place because, if it's 30 floors tall and 600 units, you don't know who's living there. The guards don't know who's living there. Anybody could get in and out, just not fully secure. Yeah, Dr. Pronkenstein, there's a couple schools of thought on buying versus renting. Hundreds. Just say there's pluses and minuses on both sides. Yeah, you do save some money if you're going to be here 5, 10 years and you're buying. And rents, land prices have gone up significantly. But if you're looking at a house in Cebu City, it's pretty expensive. Land prices are very expensive. You can get something a little cheaper if you get outside the city, out in like Consolacion or Minglanilla, Car, that area. You can find some decent land prices. But then again, it's like, traffic gets pretty bad. So if you're living in Car, that could be 90 minutes to get to, SM Mall or IT Park in Cebu. And then, what are you going to come here, have a few beers, then drive 90 minutes home? And I'm on a scooter. I don't have a car. I don't like taking jeepneys or buses. So if you want to be in the city center, you're kind of looking at a condo. And condos just, I can't justify those prices. Like I kind of said, like, hey, let's see what I can find for 8 million. And like real quickly said, okay, it looks like I'll have to go up to 10 million. And all the places that I would consider were in the 13 to 15 million range, and just wasn't ready to drop 15 million on a small condo in Asia. So if you are, more power to you, but I just couldn't justify dropping 15 million pesos on a condo. If it was 8 million and it ticked all the boxes for me of what I like, I would have done it. But no, I decided to rent. negotiated a good 1 year lease at the place that I'll be staying at. They give breakfast every morning for free. It's got a gym. It's got a little balcony, fully furnished, full-size fridge, cable, brand new TV, bed, pillows, sheets, all that. Um, Checked it out. I mean, pretty much the only things I'm gonna need to buy are like a knife. The knife didn't look too good. It was just a cheap one, so maybe a knife sharpener. I might get some cast iron pots and pans. Ace Hardware had a sale on a set. I think it was 7,000 for small pan, medium pan, and a medium-sized pot, and that's really all I need. Cast iron, you season those and don't scrape them with the metal scrubber, and those things will last forever. I mean, literally forever. 50 to 100 years. You can get a good cast iron pot, and it'll be fine. Non-stick, Teflon coated. So, well, I'm not here for a year. I've been here for a year. Next week will be my 1 year anniversary here. I'm here for an indefinite period of time. I've said, minimum 5 years, maximum 10 years. So I've got a property in Long Beach, California that's going to be paid off in December of 2028. And I bought it in 2008, and so it's a 20-year mortgage. And so once that's paid off, I'd eventually like to sell it. And, my budget's set so I could live here pretty opulently for the next 5, 6, 7 years and still be able to go back to America with 100 grand in my bank account, and then pretty much kick the renters out of that place and then live there rent free, just paying taxes and insurance and utilities. And in California, if you sell a rental property versus a primary residence, it's a pretty significant tax difference. So I mean, just hard numbers. If you're selling $1 million house as a rental versus you selling $1 million house as your primary residence, it's 150,000 difference in taxes. So I will need to go back to California at some point post 2028, like 2029, 2030, and establish residence for 24 months in that house. Like, put a utility bill, electrical bill in my name. I mean, there's ways around it, but I'm not trying to cheat the IRS, because if, government computers, they're talking to each other. They say that, oh, well, how can you have this, you're paying rent and electric's in your name at this address in Long Beach, but your passport says you've been in the Philippines and Asia for the past 6 years. So, and then I get audited and big issue. So I will return to the States, establish residence for 24 months, put the house on the market, sell it, and by that point I'll be close to 50 years old, and 12, 15 years to go before Social Security kicks in. And so just live off that sale of that property, put it in a money market fund, and just go back to travel the world, do whatever. Probably come back to the Philippines, but you never know. 12 years from now is a long time away. Yeah, I don't miss California too much either. The first month I was here in the Philippines, like, I was missing it, because I had a circle of friends, coworkers, and, working lifestyle and restaurants I'd visit, bars that I'd go to, and just put in my 2-week notice at work, but my boss begged me to stay on 6 more months. I said okay, and then COVID hit, and I ended up getting stuck in the U.S. for 2.5 more years. So I stayed in the U.S. 2.5 years longer than I intended to. Put the link in the chat there if anybody wants to come on. If not, no big deal. So this is more of an open forum. Whatever you guys want to talk about, just post a comment or come on the chat, and we could talk about it. We could talk about girls. We could talk about cars, food, beaches, Bitcoin, anything you guys want. Forgive me for a minute. I'm eating a mango. Yeah, mangoes really shot up in price after Typhoon Odette, because most of the big mango trees got pushed down by the winds and rain. So this mango used to probably cost 20 pesos. Now it's 40, 50 pesos. But they're delicious. When I'm in Cebu, I do most of my grocery shopping at either Ayala Marketplace. I think it's called Ayala Super Metro, or the SM Supermarket. And then about once every 2 weeks, I'll head down to Carbon Market and spend 1,000, 1,500 pesos on fruits and vegetables. There's a place I can get broccoli for 120 a kilo. They do kind of, it's a big stock on the broccoli. It's not all crown, but I think broccoli crowns are like 400 to 500 pesos at Ayala and SM, and you can get the broccoli at Carbon for 120 pesos, cut off the crown, so maybe you're paying 160 pesos a kilo. Avocados are in season, so I do a lot of avocado and shrimp salads. I mean, my normal lunch would either be a salad or a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, or maybe once a week we go out to lunch, get something at the mall, go out with a friend or two. I order a lot off Food Panda as well. I'm a Panda Pro subscriber. They did a promo, so I think it was only 200 pesos for 12 months to be a Panda Pro member, and they give you pretty good discounts. So, I mean, I easily order, I don't know, 4,000 pesos a month of stuff off Food Panda. A lot of times it's cheaper to order off Food Panda than it is to actually go and pick it up. They give free delivery, email you all kinds of promos and discounts. Here comes a guy on a boat. Yeah, when I get back to Cebu, end of the month, I'm going to try out the keto diet. Quit drinking beer, quit eating rice. Because my girl likes to cook rice in the morning, and I think that's adding to my gut. I've been working out pretty hard, lifting weights, gained a little bit of weight, a little bit of mass, drinking protein drinks. Doing some cardio. I do like 10 kilometers a day on the stationary bike in the gym. But I'm drinking a lot of beer still, so I think cutting out the beer and cutting out Okay. So we'll see. I'm going to try to get my six-pack abs back. Yeah, haven't found a great place that makes amazing tacos Yet, there's a place behind Mango Square. I think it's called La Lucha. It's run by a Mexican dude. He makes good. They got a good taco. There's a place called Puesto near IT Park that has a Taco Tuesday. They'll give you 4 tacos for 250 pesos. Fresh tortillas, good salsa, large serving of meat, but not super authentic. The carnitas is a little sweet, a little kind of more Filipino style pork. I got a buddy that lives near Ayala, and he does tacos about once a week. Has his girl like get the masa and pound out the tortillas, so he's pretty good. He's from California. I do miss taco trucks in California. Hard to find good dollar tacos anymore. They're all $1.50 or $2 tacos nowadays, unfortunately. Yeah, there's a lot of Indian students, medical and dental students. I think it's in Talamban, part of Cebu. And there's a good 5, 6, 7 Indian restaurants there. I've ordered from Bollywood and Hyderabad. And they're okay. Nothing great, but they're okay. I miss the chicken tiki masala frozen dinners at Trader Joe's. I might have ate 1,000 of those in my lifetime. They sustained me for years. I like Del Taco. For the money, you can't beat Del Taco. Probably Del Taco and In-N-Out are my favorite fast foods. One of my patients worked at In-N-Out. He told me some secrets on the menu. Not the secret menu like animal style stuff. Everybody already knows that. But I used to go and get my standard order at In-N-Out would be just a hamburger, double lettuce, double tomato. They don't charge extra for lettuce and tomato. So I tried it once. I said, and he goes, why don't you get triple lettuce, triple tomato? And I was like, you know what? You're right. And then it's like, well, why don't you get quadruple lettuce, quadruple tomato, and tell them to put the lettuce and tomato on the side, and you basically have a free salad. So you can go to In-N-Out, order a hamburger for whatever, $2.50, $3, quadruple lettuce, quadruple tomato, put the lettuce and tomato on the side, and you've got a hamburger and a free salad. So that would be my standard order. I don't know. It's kind of quiet in here. Is there someone else live streaming right now? Yeah, I don't know why Frank has so many haters. He just rubs people the wrong way. Like, as a social interaction with other human beings, like, he's just like so unsophisticated the way he acts and talks to people. Like, I mean, for the hundreds of hours of live streams he's done, I don't think once he's ever mentioned like friends back in Seattle or New York or Hawaii, like going doing stuff with friends, or oh yeah, me and some buddies, we went. hiking out here or something, like those words never came out of his mouth. It's always just like hate, 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 Barry, Barry. Yeah, I like Big Kev. I talk shit about him all the time, but that's just part of the game. You know, it's all entertainment, right? It's all for entertainment. Working my way through this mango right now. Yeah, he's bitter just because he really hasn't done much in life. Um, I mean, he's from New York. He went to some liberal arts photography school for 6, 7 years. Got an associate's degree in industry and profession that he studied. Yeah, he took those Edie Beale pictures, but whatever. That's just a one-off. It's not like he's, a published photographer and, worked in the industry. Like, he just did a little freelance work. I guess maybe Frank's made $10,000 in his photography career, if that, maybe $5,000. I mean, Frank, I know you're listening. Links in the chat if you want to come on and dispute that, but I doubt you've made $10,000 as a photographer. You probably spent $30,000 on your photography education back in the 70s, whatever it cost back then. And then, you didn't really do much in New York, and you're surrounded by all these millionaires in New York, making moves. So he comes out to Seattle, gets some job at the Parks and Recreation Department, cleaning bathrooms at the park. He says it was a great job. That's neither here nor there. Some people would argue that that's not a great job, picking up used condoms at homosexual hookup spots in public parks in Seattle. But if Frank thinks that a great job, then, more power to him. I'm glad he was happy in his career, since his first career profession. She was like 2 years old, and judge was like, well, if you're picking up your daughter, swinging her around, your back's fine. So he lost that case for disability. And sorry, the internet's cutting in and out here. But yeah, he didn't really do well in Seattle at the Parks and Recreation Department, and because he was just so awkward, he didn't have friends. His coworkers, they kind of ribbed him and made fun of him and, joked about him, and that kind of heightened his social anxiety. So then he's like, well, the back disability thing didn't work. Like, let me try this mental disability. He's saying he's having mental problems because all this social anxiety, because his coworkers are making fun of him. The manager's not protecting his feelings from his coworkers. So he stopped work. Eventually that got adjudicated. He got a partial mental anxiety disability. He got a bunch of back pay for the year and a half it took to settle and litigate. And so he took that 40, 50,000, got his, whatever $1,000 a month disability pension in his 40s. He goes out to Hawaii, buys kind of a crappy piece of property, no ocean view, a little far from the ocean. Builds a house on there, or I don't know if it was already built, but he buys, property for $100,000 in the, early 90s, puts 20% down. He's got a mortgage, runs some little scam where he gets Big Al in there on his Section 8. And I think Frank even applied to be a caregiver for Al. So he was actually getting money as Al's caregiver. And I think people say that he was running a Section 8 HUD scam, and he wasn't allowed to do that. I'm not sure that's true, because if he was Al's caregiver, paid caregiver through the state, there may be a loophole that Al was allowed to live at that house. So I really don't know if Al was or was not allowed to live at that house, but I think if Frank was Al's caregiver, somehow he was allowed to live there. So between getting, his $1,000 a month disability, maybe getting $400 a month as Al's caregiver, and then HUD is giving Frank another $400 or $500 a month in Section 8 housing credit, Frank was pulling in like $2,000 a month living in Hawaii back in the 90s, and then the value of the property, triple, quadrupled in 25, 30 years that he owned it. So he still owed money. I think someone said that he owed like over $100,000 on the house when he sold it. So I've got to assume Frank at least put up some funds for Al to find new housing, and maybe gives Al a couple $100 a month. I mean, so Frank's supporting a lot of people. He's supporting Gilda, Jimmy, 8 kids, himself, Al. So he's got a big heart. He likes to support people. But yeah, I mean, if you look at the amount of money Frank's paid in taxes in his life versus the amount of money that he's received from the government in disability and housing benefits and caretaker for his brother, I mean, 50 to 1, 60 to 1. I mean, maybe he's paid $30,000 in taxes in his life, and or $20,000 in taxes, and been pulling in close to $2,000 a month for 25 years. I mean, yeah, he's definitely gaming the system one way or another. Unfortunately, it is the American way, and Frank is a staunch Biden supporting Democrat. So, scamming the government for money's what he does. So yeah, and then sold the house, came out here, bought Jimmy and Gilda a house, and now he's just ranting on YouTube hours and hours and hours a day. Lawsuits, threats of deportation. I'm getting the NBI on you for this, for that. So whatever. I don't really want to talk about Frank too much. I mean, it's just not what I'm here for. Frank, you want to come on the chat? I know you're listening. I'll let you say your piece. I won't interrupt you. Might call you out on some of your bullshit and lies, though. But yeah, just sitting here on the beach, hammocks, waves, toes in the sand, drink in my hand. Well, no, I don't have a drink in my hand. It's 10 a.m. But I'll be shutting this live stream off in a few minutes here. I'm going to go watch the Laker game. We got a old Ren on that boat taking tourists out. Ren, the boat captain. Yeah, it's a good little break, because once I get back to Cebu in a couple weeks, I'm going to kind of be in Cebu for the next 2 years. I mean, probably 350 days a month, I'll be living in Cebu City, raising a baby. Probably get a yaya. We've got a 2-bedroom condo. So actually, I guess it's considered a 3-bedroom. It's got a maid's quarters, but I think the maid's quarters might just end up being like storage or. I mean, you can barely put a twin-size bed in there. And I don't know about living with a maid full time. Might just have like someone take care of the kids a little bit. And I don't mind, doing a little cooking and cleaning. I actually kind of enjoy it. I don't love doing dishes, but I don't mind cooking, cutting up vegetables and stuff, and get in there. Just my girl loves to cook, so don't want to deprive her. Yeah, but as long as I've got a little bit of space, not one of these little 22 square meter studios. I think it's like 100 and something square meters, 2-bedroom. Less than a kilometer away from Ayala. I had someone in the private chat ask to come on. You're welcome to come on. Anybody wants to come on, by all means.
All right. Testing. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. Sorry, I had you in the background too much. This is my first time on StreamYards. I didn't know I needed to go invite you on. I thought it just came on automatically. But what's up, man?
Just chilling. I'm enjoying that beach view.
Yeah, man. Where are you at right now?
I'm in Luzon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I went to a similar looking beach last week for a few days. It was man, I think the beaches here are so much better than the ones in California.
Yeah, California water is actually kind of cold. Everybody thinks it's, warm, but no. Like even in July and August is about the only times it's kind of lukewarm, but the rest of the year, like Southern California water is not warm. That's people don't understand that. But yeah, the beaches, they're cool just because, you get they're bigger. Like the sand's like a 200 meters wide from where you park to like walk down to the ocean. You got 200 meters of sand. Here, I mean, it's high tide. We got about 5 meters.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man.
I used to go to Zuma Beach a lot around Malibu, and that's kind of the one I'm probably the most familiar with. I've been to like Venice Beach a lot in Santa Monica. I grew up in that area, and they're all right, but I don't know. I don't even mind the cold water. I just feel like it's always crowded, and the water is not as clear and blue as what I see here, and I kind of appreciate how, I don't know, fewer people and cleaner water here to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I spent if I was going to the beach, I mean, I'm from Long Beach. There's really no good beaches in Long Beach. No good waves, at least. I would be in Huntington Beach or Newport Beach, Sunset Beach, probably Sunset Beach the most, but my favorite was Newport Beach. Just the perfect sand, perfect waves. If someone was to put me on the spot and say, where are the hottest girls on planet Earth? I would say at the beach in Newport Beach during summer.
Oh,
I mean, you could,
nice.
if you're in the month of July, you walk along the beach in Newport Beach, you'll see more 9s and 10s than, I mean, unless you're at a Victoria's Secrets fashion show or something. I mean, it's out of control.
Yeah, for sure. Well, what's funny to me about California is I sort of sometimes forget how big the state actually is, because I grew up in the LA Ventura County area, so I'm familiar with like Woodland Hills and Burbank and Santa Monica and Thousand Oaks and all that area. And like I've been to Orange County and I've been to Anaheim and Angel Stadium and Disneyland, but so much of California I feel like I haven't even seen it, or like I've been through Long Beach. I went to San Francisco for a few days, but I feel like so much of the state I haven't even seen. I'm sort of like limited to like just a certain corner of it.
Yeah, and then I mean, you get away from the coastal areas. You got Yosemite, Palm Springs,
Yeah,
all those
yeah.
areas. You ever spend any time up in Ojai or Santa Barbara area?
I grew up. Yeah, I've spent a lot of time in Ojai. I'm not far from Ojai. I got a relative there.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I love Ojai. I had a Filipina ex that lived up there, and she was a caregiver, and did a lot of mountain biking up in the Ojai Mountains and foothills, and it's just amazing time. I loved it.
It's
I
nice.
mean,
It's nice.
I could probably spend 5 years just like riding mountain bikes around the trails in Ojai and the what's it called, that national park that's kind of like inland from Santa Barbara. And I mean, I could spend 5 years riding trails and like never do the same trail twice. I got into what was called bike packing, where you put a bag on the back of your bike, on the front of your bike, on the side of the tires. You wear on the little triangle part of the frame. Sometimes you even wear a backpack, and you can put your tent, your sleeping bag, some food, and all your spare parts for the bike. And you get on some of these. You park at the trailhead, and like the first couple miles of the trail, you'll see people. But once you go, there's my girl out there doing a little walking on the beach with her friend. You get like 2 miles away from the trailhead, and most of the people that are hiking on foot don't go that far. So, depending on your physical fitness, you could only really hike 3 or 4 miles out and then 3 or 4 miles back. But if you're on a bicycle and you're bike packing instead of backpacking, you can go 15, 20 miles out, camp for the night, 15, 20 miles back, and it's so much more enjoyable. I mean, it's perfect cardio. I like doing cardio, but like the stationary bike, you're staring at the wall or staring at your phone. It's not the same as
Yeah.
riding a trail out in nature and checking out the view. So
Yeah.
I love Ojai. I mean, it's not like, it's pretty expensive living out there. Like most of the restaurants and bars, you're looking at $10 beers and
Real
$20
expensive.
for the
Real expensive. Yeah. I think
yeah,
it's close to Fillmore, right? Isn't that near Fillmore? Ojai?
correct. Yeah, Fillmore is
Yeah.
like kind of more towards Magic Mountain area.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
Ricky
I
Drama, if
know
you
the
want to come on
area.
the chat, come on the chat. Ricky Drama, I see you there. Let me put the link in there one more time.
Someone mentioned San Clemente, 405 freeway. Man, I haven't been to California in like 8 years. I left in 2015, and I was only there for the summer. I don't miss it. I mean, I miss the Mexican food. I miss In-N-Out Burger. You were talking about that. I appreciate that. But I feel like the Philippines, it has some of the elements that I like about California, like the scenery, the palm trees, the beaches, the Spanish influence, all that, but a totally different cost of living. And so I feel like it's kind of a win-win.
Yeah, Ricky, you're right. You basically have to be west of the 405 freeway. I was about a mile west of the 405 freeway, actually exactly a mile, and like there'd be like months that went by where I didn't go on the east side of the 405 freeway. I just was, whether it's Santa Monica or Seal Beach or Huntington Beach or Belmont Shore in Long Beach, downtown Long Beach, where our office was. San Pedro. We had a location there, so I I'd spend 98% of my time within 3 or 4 miles of the ocean when I was in California, unless I'd go up to Ojai, do some mountain biking. Like, I mean, I rarely would ever go inland to, Pasadena or downtown LA, or uh, used to go see a, a bar in Hollywood I'd visit. I had a friend that worked at this bar in Hollywood, and it was one of those fancy, like, flair cocktail bars where it's like, I mean, honestly, it was like 20 bucks for the cheapest cocktail. A lot of them were like 30, $35. And I had a buddy that worked there, so I'd always buy the first drink, and then he'd give me 3 or 4 more drinks for free. So my bill would have been like close to $100 going there, getting 4 drinks, and he would only charge me like $25. I'd always tip him $25, $30. So only person that was losing money was the owner. So I got a discount, he got a big tip, and um, yeah, right on Hollywood Boulevard in the Walk of Fame.
Is
Loved
my
it.
microphone on? Is my microphone working?
Yeah, it's working.
Oh,
Can you
okay.
hear me?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Hollywood. I used to go there more like in high school when I was growing up, and I, I feel like Hollywood's kind of run down and ghetto. I think a lot of people who've never been there have this idea that it's really glamorous, and I think it used to be, but I don't know. Every time I would go to Hollywood, maybe I was just going to the wrong areas. I'm sure there's some nice spots, but it just seems like so ghetto to me.
True. When was the last time you were in Hollywood?
Probably maybe 2015, maybe sooner than that. But just I don't know. And again, maybe I'm not going to the nice areas. I don't know. I used to go to Sunset Boulevard a lot in high school to Whiskey a Go Go, Roxy, Key Club, see live music. I was really into that, and I enjoyed that. But yeah, whenever since then, whenever I go back, it just seems so ghetto to me.
Yeah, it is kind of ghetto, but like the last 3, 4, 5 years, the immediate area along Hollywood Boulevard has kind of gentrified. So like a lot of the old places have been torn down. Almost all the vacant lots, old parking lot areas, they're all like 10, 15 story, $5,000 a month apartments now.
God.
So it's definitely improved a bit, but yeah, there's surprisingly very seedy ghetto areas all around Hollywood. You get 2 blocks off the boulevard, and it's like, I mean, you got drug addicts, and you got just like
Right,
burnout, like
right.
real crappy houses. I mean, they might be $1 million piece of property, but the house itself, I mean, it's like Fazio's shack. I mean, nothing's as bad as Fazio's shack. Let me correct myself, but it's got some bad places.
Why
West
does
Hollywood.
Fazio live in a shack? I'm just curious.
So I don't really want to disparage Fazio too much. I mean, I kind of joke
Okay.
about it. I probably shouldn't, but let's be honest. The guy's suffering from severe mental illness. I met him.
Okay.
He's not right in the head. He's absolutely like got some severe psychological issues. So um, it's not polite to just kind of diss him. But so why does he live in a shack? One, he's broke. He's got no money. I mean, he was
He's broke.
like a part-time construction laborer back in America, in Florida or wherever he lived. I mean, he'll tell you he owned barges, and he was a jet mechanic, and he owned this. He had 30 guys working for him. Like, no, Fazio, that's not true. You were just a part-time laborer, hourly employee, and he has no money. He worked off the books. He didn't really pay into the system, so he's probably got a Barry Jordan level of Social Security that he receives. Um, Guaranteed less than 1,000 a month.
Oof,
and
that's tough.
he does scam. He's I don't know whether like see when I always wondered, is Fazio mentally ill or is he a con man? I don't think he's a con man, but I think he's got a couple of his subscribers. Well, he's not smart enough to be a con man. That it takes like some psychopathic tendencies, and you got to have like intelligence. But he's not a con man. He's just not there. But he's got a couple subscribers that are just like fools, and I mean like huge fools. Like I mean guys that actually think he's building a hotel and like have sent him thousands of dollars, like Warren A, Jack Thompson, and a couple of these guys. They've just like enabled his lifestyle through the years with
Wow.
donations and super chats. And Fazio's he's a master manipulator, so he's got a few guys that he just somehow scams.
Well,
And
more power to him, I guess.
supplements his income, so he probably gets $500-600 a month Social Security, and then like his subscribers probably kick him down $200-300 a month more, and like I mean he probably doesn't even spend it. He'll probably go buy a rebar bender or go buy some engine that's not working and try to fix it and never get it fixed, and like go buy a can of paint and paint this and like well, yeah, I mean, he's a prolific YouTuber. I mean, you're talking thousands and thousands of hours that he put on YouTube. But him being alone and isolated, no friend, no partner, no woman that he's intimate with, and like the only thing he has is YouTube. And if you say anything he disagrees with, you're blocked. So he doesn't tolerate a difference of opinions. And
sounds like someone else. Sounds like someone in his swamp.
Yeah. Yeah, Frank definitely lives in a swamp. Like when we did that interview outside, like I think you could see the bottle of mosquito repellent, and like right away he's telling me, he's like, yeah, you got to put it on your feet. That's where they're gonna get you. And like, yeah, he was burning that lion tiger, that black coil that you burn that produces smoke that mosquitoes supposedly don't like.
Right.
And yeah, but Frank and Fazio both have something in common. They spent a good 30 minutes talking about Warren H, a man that's allegedly dead. So,
yeah, some of these guys I know by name only. I've heard of Warren. I'm vaguely familiar with Fazio. I just Frank is just notorious because he's so despised. It's just kind of hard to. He just kind of stands out the most, I think. Before it was Peter Van Dever, I remember him. He was a train wreck, and a lot of these other guys I don't really know much about or have opinions about. I'm just aware that Frank is very unpopular, and I did see that sort of interview or meeting you did with him, and what struck me as so socially awkward about the guy was he brings you outside and gives his phone to Gilda and says, "Oh, look, I've got a friend, film it." As if it was like a big deal. Like, to me, that's so awkward. If I talk with other expats, I don't think to like film it and put it on YouTube. And you were just kind of there listening. He wasn't talking with you. He was talking at you. And it was so awkward.
Well, in Frank's defense, I might have been the first person to ever visit him at his house. So, like, he's never had a guest come over and visit him and hang out and shoot the shit and like that. Like, that's alien territory for Frank. He doesn't know what to do. Like, I mean, it's like you take some guy off the street and you put him in like a corporate boardroom. Like, he's not going to know how to behave. So Frank having a guest come over to hang out, like Frank, that's not what happens with Frank. Frank sits in his room and rants into YouTube about Barry and all the, all the successes he's had in life. Like, kind of like Fazio. Like, Frank and Fazio, they kind of had they patched things up with each other, and they're kind of kindred spirits. Fazio would be more just like mentally ill, but Frank would have more, he's more of a psychopath, like, because Frank kind of like, you know, I guess he could form a relationship with somebody. Like, I mean, he's got Gilda there. I mean, she's somewhat of a captive woman, but yeah, like
I,
Daisy
I
May
think
only can.
I think Frank's the kind of guy that can't really have friends. He can only have temporary alliances with people. When he has maybe a common goal or end, he can have a temporary alliance with someone, and then he pretty quickly seems to, he calls everyone else fence jumpers, but he seems to flip flop a lot, and it's just bizarre to me. I do think he needs like some mental help, but he's also the kind of person that will never seek it.
Right, because he's always right. So if you're always right, you're not
Exactly.
going to. And like
He-
neither of those guys have someone in their life to kind of like pull them aside and be like, "Hey, man, like let's talk. Like let's, do you need anything? You want someone to talk to?" Like they don't have a
yeah,
friend. I mean,
yeah,
Gilda's his live-in partner, but like I'm not sure they're intimate. I think Frank's got ED, and Gilda's 50 and got 8 kids and married to a Filipino. So I don't.
right.
And then Daisy May only really comes back when she needs money. And I think
Right.
Fazio knows full well, like Daisy's on the dating websites and meeting other guys. Like maybe the only reason Daisy came back, she's got some chat mate she's gonna meet in Bohol, and like Fazio's like almost cuckolded at this point. Like, and if you got a serious hernia, which allegedly he's had for over a year, well, like that that can affect an erection. Like it, like I don't want to get too into the details here, but like that final push towards the climax, like you're kind of like exerting effort, and like if you got a hernia, you got to take it easy. And like both of these guys are in their late 60s, pushing 70, and they're not healthy. Fazio
Right.
especially is not healthy. So
Right.
I say we just enjoy it. Like it's pure entertainment. Like both of
Yeah,
these guys could be gone in a couple years, So
sure.
I it's one of those things. Like I mean, same with Big Kev. I like Big Kev. Yeah, I talk shit about him, and I'll keep talking shit about him. But Big Kev could be gone in a couple years. These guys are in their 60s, not healthy at all.
Right.
So, well, I mean, yeah, just enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah,
But
life is way too short for YouTube drama. I have to spend a lot of time. Unlike you, unfortunately, I'm not retired, so I work and do a lot of online work. So between stuff, I do, follow YouTube stuff, and I live in the Philippines like you, so I keep up with some of it, and yeah, it's just entertainment, and again, that's what's just peculiar about Frank is he takes this shit so seriously, and like he's got a dossier on you. Like he really takes this stuff to heart, and it's like, dude, if you would just kick back, roll with the punches, he dishes it out, but he can't take it. And it's like, if you're gonna dish it out, you got to be able to take it too. Otherwise, you're kind of, well, I won't use any words, but it's like the guy will just. I just don't get how people can get so absorbed. And again, what's bizarre about Frank is he's, like you said, he's old. He's been retired for quite a while. He doesn't make a ton of money, but what he makes, I think, is enough to have a good time out here. And he's in an okay location, and he could be going out, having a decent time, reading, learning some of the language like Barry did. That's one thing I liked about Barry is he actually seemed to learn something about the language and the culture and enjoy his life. And yet Frank's got a little bit more income, and he's so miserable. And I feel like, even if you're getting just 90, 100,000 pesos a month here, that's still all right. You can still be comfortable with that. But to stay indoors all day and rant on YouTube, it's just bizarre to me. It's bizarre.
yeah, I think Frank's on heavy medication. So like every few hours he takes this pill, and a few hours later takes this other pill, and like he takes all these multivitamins. And I've seen him at a restaurant where he actually brought Tupperware and he brought his own food to a restaurant when he took Gilda's kids out, and like Yeah, Frank just he doesn't have the social experience to just like act normal in public. Like, I mean, you saw him at that other expats party where he was asking the little girl where her room is. Like, that's not
Oh,
something you do to a little girl. Like, yeah, why would that thought even cross your mind? Like,
right.
um, so yeah, they're characters, and like I think that's what makes them. I really wish Frank wasn't so technologically stupid and like angry. And he could find out a way to somehow monetize his channel and like, dude, I mean,
He could.
I've
He
just
could.
started.
He's got all the time in the world to learn how to do this stuff. He's got enough money, not a lot, but he's got enough that he could buy a decent camera. He's got nothing but time. If he wanted to, he could probably make some okay vlogs and learn about the Philippines. But he's so obsessed with the drama, the supply, that he doesn't do anything productive. Like I think a lot of people, we're trying to be productive, we're trying to do something with our lives, constructive. And with him, he seems like destructive. Like he doesn't want to build something, he doesn't want to create, he wants to like attack and destroy people. And does that sound right to you? Because that's kind of my take.
Yeah, it's like he has some sort of addiction to it. I think he's got regrets in life, so he's angry about how his life ended up, and so now he just kind of takes it out, and he has power for the first time. Like guys like Frank and Fazio, they've never owned a company, they've never had employees working under them. I mean, they'll both say they were the world. But realistically, neither one of these guys had guys working for them. They were never in a management position, like with employees underneath them. They've never like
Uh-huh.
had a lot of friends or serious relationships. So for the first time in their life, they can kind of control YouTube. And you disagree with them, they can just ban you, block you. And hey, Jerry, what's up, man? Let me back up and read some of these comments.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Why did Fazio get the drawings for the hotel, and why did he waste money on a rebar bender? Well, he wasted money on a rebar bender because he's mentally ill, and he actually does have a psychotic delusion that he thinks he's truly building a hotel. And as far as getting drawings for the hotel, I think you can just like, there's online websites where you can just say like, hey, I've got a 15 by 20 square meter piece of property, and can you put up like some architectural blueprints for a 3-story hotel? And it's probably free. I doubt he had a paid subscription for those blueprints. And then just saved the file, went down to the print shop, printed it up, and it was probably used as a way to like further his scam and find an investor. And like, I mean, it fooled a couple people. I think Warren H gave close to 20 grand, and Warren H was talking about buying the hotel. Let's keep going. Yeah, I hope Ricky does help Barry out. I'm pessimistic. I mean, I'm Barry's friend, and I'm hoping for the best. But if I was a betting man, I would say Barry's getting deported. That's just my personal opinion. I think it's gone semi-viral. The BI commissioner has commented on it. It's been posted in newspapers and on Facebook pages, and that's kind of what tilts the balance of justice in the Philippines. So now that the guys commented on it, it's they for them to backtrack and not deport Barry, it would be almost a loss of face for him. And you get in that whole like Asian concept of saving face, and it's not something I understand perfectly well, but it's a real thing, and I just don't see them. Go put your water shoes on, honey. Your water shoes. Go get your water shoes. Yeah, we bought water shoes, and my girl wants to go out on this beach and not wear her water shoes, so whatever. But yeah, so like I do think Barry's getting deported, but I hope I'm wrong. I hope Ricky somehow gets this sorted out. And it's like Ricky said, it's the best case scenario is that somehow he can post bond, maybe start making partial payments to the 200 and something thousand peso he owes in back fees and penalties, and get some like agreement to self-deport in 60 days. He's got 60 days to book a ticket, and he self-deports and doesn't get blacklisted and goes back to America, and like within a year or two he saves up some money and gets things sorted out, gets his health back in order, and he's back in the Philippines in a couple years. That's probably best case scenario.
Yeah.
Let's see. He spent a year getting the rebar bender. Finally arrived, no oil, complained, did nothing yet. Well, what's he going to do with the rebar bender? He's not building anything. Philippines, the guy does have engineering knowledge. I'm going to disagree with that, Phil. I do not think he has any engineering knowledge. I think he's just a total bullshitter. I don't think he's him owning a barge or being this A&P mechanic. I think none of that's true. I think he has psychotic delusions, and YouTube is an outlet for him to further those delusions with his sycophantic followers. And if you disagree with them or point out some fallacies in his argument, you're blocked. So, no, I don't believe he has engineering knowledge. And if you do, just look at his shack that he lives in. Has he fixed the roof, or did he put a tarp on it with holes in it? Look at the door. The door jams, like, got a 3-inch gap on the bottom. The window doesn't shut all the way. Like, how the air con's mounted, like, it's nothing. No. I mean, like, no engineering knowledge whatsoever. So I'll fully disagree with that on you.
And what's amazing is these guys have the same voting rights as mentally sound people.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you've heard the Democratic Party now saying, like, well, should mentally ill people be allowed to vote? Yes,
Well,
I think they should.
They voted for Biden.
Well, I'll disagree on that too. I don't think he received those votes. I mean, I know I'd get banned on Facebook for saying that, but I think there were voting.
I agree with that, but I still I totally get what you're saying, and I agree, and I won't say anything that'll trigger YouTube. But I still think, you know, I think mentally ill people do vote for that party. But yeah, I do think the whole election was suspicious. Freezing the vote count in the swing states at 4 a.m. or whatever. That's a little suspicious.
Yeah, and historically, like, Republicans are the ones that vote absentee and vote by mail. And now all of a sudden, like, you know, Trump's up a couple million votes, and, like, then you wake up in the morning and he's down a couple million. Like, that's never happened historically. So I don't know. Let's stay off politics here. But
yeah, totally.
Let's see. Well, yeah, Phil, if he helped you fix a chainsaw, good for him. But yeah, his mental illness has progressed, and he's not doing well. It just, like, there's been videos of his shack. I don't know who filmed that video. Someone sent it to me, but I don't know who did the drive-by and walked by on his shack and filmed it. But anybody with any engineering acumen would not live in a dilapidated shack with, you know, just like those types of issues. I mean, look at that 3-step staircase going up to his door. Like, that won't support anybody's weight. It's got holes in it. It's built on a slant. So that's my opinion. I don't believe I think he's a bullshitter. I think he's a world-class bullshitter. And if you try to call him out on his bullshit, you get banned. So that's my opinion on that. Yeah, we're all trolls.
Types.
But hey, guys,
meet some real eccentric.
I'm gonna be doing these live. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing these live streams every day at this same time. Anybody's welcome to come on, but I'm actually gonna end this. I'm gonna go watch the Laker game right now. So I appreciate everybody. Same bat time, same bat place tomorrow. And any final thoughts, CA dude?
I could really go for some In-N-Out and Del Taco right now.
Oh yeah, what's your burger of choice at In-N-Out? What's your order?
Double.
Oh, just standard double.
Yeah, again, it's been a while. I'm aware of the secret menu, but I never took advantage.
Yeah, I heard there was a In-N-Out food truck in Manila a couple years back. It did a little brief appearance. I didn't get to taste it, but maybe it'll somehow work its way back. Or someday there'll be a store, but don't hold your breath open for it.
Nah, that's all right.
Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to head out. I'll see you later, and see you tomorrow, same time.
Peace out.